This is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardinis, to use this as an educational material. So good day everyone, and our topic for group 4 is contemporary global governance with integration of COVID-19. So my topic for today is what is global governance with the integration of COVID-19. So first, let me say the objectives for this topic. So know what is a global governance, key aspects of global governance in the context of the pandemic, and the importance of global governance. So what is global governance? Global governance refers to the complex system of interconnected institutions, processes, and norms that aims to address issues that transcend national borders and affect the entire world. These issues can range from climate change and pandemics to trade and security. So, imagine the world as a big apartment building. With each country being an apartment, global governance is basically like the building's management committee. So, made up of representatives from each apartment. Their job is to take care of things that affects everyone in the building, like the roof, plumbing, and the garbage disposals, and etc. So of course, just like any management committee, global governance isn't perfect. So sometimes different countries have different priorities or they can't agree on the best way to do things. But even though it's not always easy. So having a global governance system is important because it helps us work together to make the world a better place for everyone. So what are the key aspects of global governance? So these are the key aspects of global governance. So World Health Organization, also known as WHO. So they are the ones that lead agency for global health within the United Nations system. So they played a central role in coordinating the international response to the pandemic, providing guidance on public health measures, vaccine development, and equitable access to medical supplies. So another one is international cooperation. So countries collaborated to develop vaccines, share data and best practices, and support each other throughout economic and humanitarian aid. So another one is multilateral institutions. So existing institutions like the International Monetary Fund or IMF and the World Bank adapted their programs to provide financial assistance to countries and that's struggling with the pandemic economic fallout. So a last one is civil society and private sector. So it's also known as NGOs, research institutions, and private companies played a crucial role in developing vaccines, diagnostics, and treatments. So what can I say? What are the importance of the global governance? So one thing's for sure is that the global governance is intention is to establish peace, security, health for all people, keeps everyone safe. They might set rules and work together to fight off threats like fires, floods, or just like the coronavirus that we have experienced from the 2019 to 2022. So they make sure everyone that has what they need. They might organize things like shared laundry facilities, a playground for the kids, or a recycling program. So setting arguments between neighbors. If two apartments are having a loud music dispute, then the committee can help them find a solution that works for everyone. So all in all, it is important for us to have a global governance so that our world can be a better place for humans like us to live in this society. That is all. Thank you.
So my topic is about the effects of globalization on the governments. The objectives are to know the effects of globalizations on governments, the key aspect of globalizations on the governments. So explain the effects of globalizations on governments. So the effects of globalizations on governments are multifaceted, impacting various aspects of governance, policymaking, and international relations. So, according to the disciplining hypothesis, globalization restrains governments by inducing the increased budget pressure. As a consequence, governments shift their expenditures in favor of transfers and subsidies and away from capital expenditures. So here are some key aspects: economic interdependence, policy challenges, and political sovereignty. So first, the economic interdependence. So the effects on these globalizations has led to increased economic interdependence among the nations. So the countries are now more connected through the trading, investment, and financial markets. So this interconnectedness are means that economic events in one part of the world can have significant repercussions for the other nations. A government must navigate the challenges and opportunities of this interdependence while managing the potential risk associated with the global economic fluctuations. So the second one is the policy challenges. So the effects on the globalization poses challenges of governments in coordinating policies, process, borders. So divergent national interest, regulatory disparities, and different levels of economic development can hinder the effective global governance. International collaboration is crucial to address issues such as climate change, pandemics, and terrorism. So the last one is the political sovereignty. So the effects on the globalization can be both enhance and challenge the political sovereignty of the nations. So participating in international organizations and agreements allow countries to have a say in global governance. However, adherence to global standards and regulations may limit a governance autonomy. Striking a balance between engaging in the global community and protecting national interest is a key challenge for governments in a globalized world.
So my topic is all about identify the institutions that govern international relations. So here are my objectives. First is know what is institutions, and the second one is the key aspects of different kinds of institutions. So what is institutions? Institutions refer to established structures, organizations, or systems that play a significant role in shaping and regulating various aspects of human society. This can take various forms, including formal organizations, laws, customs, and norms. Institutions are crucial for maintaining order, facilitating cooperation, and providing a framework for social, economic, and political interactions. They are enduring and have a profound impact on the behavior and interactions of individuals within the society. So, several institutions play a crucial role in governing international relations, facilitating cooperation, resolving conflicts, and addressing global challenges. So, here are some key international institutions. The first one is the United Nations or UN. The United Nations is a central institution for international cooperation. It comprises various specialized agencies and bodies, such as the General Assembly, Security Council, International Court of Justice, and Secretariat. The UN addresses issues like peacekeeping, human rights, and sustainable development. The second one is International Monetary Fund or IMF. The IMF is responsible for promoting international monetary cooperation and exchange rate stability. It provides financial assistance to member countries facing balance of payments problems and offers economic policy advice. So, World Bank Group. The World Bank focuses on providing financial and technical assistance to developing countries for development projects. It aims to reduce poverty and promote sustainable economic growth. So the next one is World Trade Organization or WTO. The WTO regulates international trade, providing a framework for negotiating trade agreements, settling disputes, and ensuring that trade flows as smoothly, predictably, and freely as possible. The fifth one is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization or NATO. NATO is a military alliance of North American and European countries for collective defense against aggression. It plays a key role in the security and defense policies of its member states. So the sixth one is European Union or EU. The European Union is a political and economic union of European countries. It has institutions such as the European Commission, European Council, and European Parliament, working to foster economic integration, political cooperation, and shared values. So the next one is African Union. The AU is a continental union consisting of African countries. It works towards promoting peace, stability, and development in Africa. And it has various organs and institutions to address political and economic challenges. So next is Organization of American States or OAS. The OAS promotes cooperation and dialogue among countries in the Americas. It focuses on issues such as democracy, human rights, and economic development. Next is the ASEAN or Association of Southeast Asian Nations. ASEAN is a regional organization promoting economic integration, political cooperation, and security in Southeast Asia. It comprises 10 member states and facilitates collaboration in various areas. Next is the International Criminal Court or ICC. The ICC is a permanent international court that prosecutes individuals for the most serious crimes of international concern, including genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. The last one is International Atomic Energy Agency or IAEA. The IAEA is responsible for promoting the peaceful use of nuclear energy and preventing its use for any military purpose. It monitors and verifies nuclear activities to ensure compliance with international agreements. So these institutions collectively contribute to the governance of international relations by addressing a wide range of issues, including diplomacy, security, trade, development, and human rights. They provide mechanisms for dialogue, negotiation, and cooperation among nations on the global stage. That's all. Thank you. Okay, pause. Hala?
Greetings of peace and joy. This is Riel Lagunsar Flores from the class of Vis Marie M3G. I am assigned to discuss all about globalism and internationalism. Let us first have my objective for this discussion. My objective is to be able to define internationalism and globalism, to be able to point down similarities of internationalism and globalism, to be able to identify the difference of internationalism and globalism. Before we jump into the difference of these two, let us define internationalism. Internationalism is the good idea of embracing cooperation among states. This includes political, economic, and even cultural operation. This unification is founded on adopting shared aims, values, and a desire for a common goods. For example, United Nations. The United Nations is used as an example internationalism, as it is an international body that is focused on the cooperation of nations with a particular focus on peace and prosperity. Moving on to the definition of globalism. So globalism is based on the belief that people, information, and goods should be able to cross national borders unrestricted. In layman's terms, it is the attitude of or policy of placing the interest of the entire world above those of individual nations. For example, McDonald's. McDonald's is a multinational cooperation or a tangible example of globalization. McDonald's have more than 40,000 fast food restaurants in 118 countries and territories in 2022. These goods is freely franchised all over countries without restriction. So, now that we have defined these two terms, we are to proceed to the similarities. The similarities of internationalism and globalism are similar in its goal to become borderless in both politics and trade. Both are approach of mindset in building affairs, may it be local or international. Now to end my discussion, I am I am to share with you the difference. So the difference of globalism and internationalism. Globalism emphasizes the idea of universal integrated system and structures, often highlighting the economic interconnectedness of countries. On the other hand, internationalism underscores the importance of cooperation among different nations, with each retaining its sovereignty. So, and that's it for my assigned topic, the difference between internationalism and globalism. Thank you and God bless.
So, good day everyone, where I will provide you an overview of the topic United Nations. First and foremost, I will just give you a brief information of what is United Nations. So basically, United Nations is an international organization which address issues that transcend national boundaries, prevent escalating war, and promote worldwide peace. But before you guys know what really is United Nations all about, let me first address you what would be the discussion flow. So first, we will be able to identify the rules and functions of United Nations. We would be able to know what are those primary purpose of United Nations in terms of economic, social, cultural, and even in humanitarian character. Secondly, in this topic, we would be to determine the different objectives of this international organization. What are the key aspects of United Nations and how does UN plays its importance in the field of globalization? So obviously, I can say that United Nations really has a space in bringing together opportunities, reshaping institutional mechanisms, and in development too.
What is United Nations, or UN? The United Nations is an intergovernmental organization whose stated purposes are to maintain international peace and security, develop friendly relations among nations, achieve international cooperation, and serve as a center for harmonizing the actions of nations. The United Nations serves as a central hub for diplomatic relations, conflict resolution, and international cooperation. Its work spans a wide range of areas, including peacekeeping, human rights, development, humanitarian assistance, and environmental sustainability. The UN strives to create a world where nations can work together to address common challenges and build a more just, secure, and prosperous future for all. Now, the key aspects of the roles and functions of the United Nations is to maintain international peace and security. The United Nations was created in 1945 following the devastation of the Second World War, with one central mission, the maintenance of international peace and security. The UN accomplishes this by working to prevent conflict, helping parties in conflict make peace, deploying peacekeepers, and creating the conditions to allow peace to hold and flourish. These activities often overlap and should reinforce one another to be effective. Now, protect human rights. The term human rights was mentioned 7 times in the UN's founding charter, making the promotion and protection of human rights a key purpose and guiding principle of the organization. Deliver humanitarian aid. One of the purposes of the United Nations, as stated in its charter, is to achieve international cooperation in solving international problems of an economic, social, cultural, or humanitarian character. The UN first did this in the aftermath of the Second World War on the devastated continent of Europe, which it helped to rebuild. Now support sustainable development and climate action. The United Nations launched its Sustainable Development Agenda in 2015, reflecting the growing understanding by member states that a development model that is sustainable for this and future generations offers the best path forward to reducing poverty and improving the lives of people everywhere. Now, uphold international law. The UN Charter in its preamble set an objective to establish conditions under which justice and respect for the obligations arising from treaties and other sources of international law can be maintained. Ever since, the development of and respect of international law has been a key part of the work of organization. Now, the importance of the United Nations is linchpin for international collaboration and diplomacy, addressing the issues that transcend national borders. Its importance lies in its capacity to provide a forum for dialogue, cooperation, and collective action to tackle global challenges and improve the well-being of people worldwide. Now, the United Nations holds significant importance on the global stage due to its multifaceted role in addressing a wide range of challenges and fostering international cooperation.
So this is my topic, challenges of global governance in the 21st century. Ethnic conflicts, infectious diseases, climate change, food insecurity, and other pressing. So ethnic conflicts, so refer to the conflicts that arise between different ethnic groups within a particular region or country. These conflicts often involve struggles for political power, access to resources, cultural autonomy, or recognition. So one example of this one is when the Bisaya and Tagalog are having a warfare online where they criticize one another. So next challenge is the infectious diseases. It poses global governance, demanding coordinated efforts for pandemic preparedness, equitable vaccine access, and research collaboration. Addressing cross-border travel, support health systems, and adopting a One Health approach are crucial. So, One Health approach is the unity of the environmental health, animal health, and the human health. So, one example of also this one is the COVID-19, where the global govern were really used because it affected the whole whole world. So the next thing is the climate change. So the climate change is a challenge for governance because it requires coordinated international efforts to reduce emissions and limit temperature rise. So the unequal impacts demand global cooperation in supporting vulnerable nations. So and the financial geopolitical complexities add to the challenge. The transnational nature of climate change necessitates effective, sustained global governance efforts. So, climate change is also a challenge because it's not only done by emitting emissions or pollutions, not only done by one country but globally. So, we need to govern this one so that
everyone can benefit from the prevention of the climate change and lessening the effects of it. So next is the food insecurity. It is a critical challenge for global governance, requiring coordinated efforts to address unequal distribution, climate change impacts, and trade policies affecting access. Global governance is crucial for this one because food insecurity is rampant in globally because not only the most of the third world countries are suffering food shortage. So for this one, with the help of the global governance, we can help other countries to be provided with the food, the water, and all essentials for them to live. So that's it.
With this, sir, I will going to tackle what is the relevance amidst globalization. So first, we'll to know what is state. So state compromise of community of person more or less numerous permanently occupying a portion of territory independent from external control and possessing a government which is the great body of inhabitants render habitual obedience. State is composed of 5 elements, namely population, territory, government, sovereignty, and recognition. One perfect example for this is will be North Korea. So as we all know, it is a part of the Korean Peninsula and it is independent from South Korea. North Korea is considered a state because it has its own sovereignty, independency, and authoritative government that North Koreans adhere to. Another example will be the Philippines. So, Philippines is a state because we have our own democratic government. We Filipinos share the same history. We have our own territory. We also have our own sovereignty and recognition apart from others country. So next is what is globalization? So globalization on the other hand refers to trading of goods or products and services across different countries. It involves importing and exporting products globally through globalization. It will bring economic growth to both countries, creating a more modernized civilization. With the use of globalization, it would make the state or countries a more interdependent and interconnected place. So, what is the relevance of state amid globalization? Those states plays a very significant role amid globalization. The key success of globalization is if one state is strong and united, it will be easy to negotiate to the partnership across the globe. If the development of states sees globalization as a pathway for opportunity, it increases possibility jobs for its people. If the state encourage people to accept globalization, it can create a more inclusive cultural background. That's all.